give you all the code here. So all the code. You only need to understand all the code. So I give it to you. So you mainly study. Okay? Yeah. All right. So here, let me run the sample project. Here you can see, everything, all the PHP files, one JavaScript file, all here. Okay? Yeah. To start, I have a user interface. So that uniinput.php. This is my, front page, user, like this. Okay? Yeah. So when you start, you display the first tables, the student data. Okay? So then you can click the link, second table, third, fourth, prerequisite. Okay? Yeah. So then we can do, some operations. Here I add, sorting. Yeah, sorting. Yeah. So in the requirement, I didn't require that, right? Did you see anything about sorting? Yeah, that may not be required. Yeah. Here, just my original code, I have that. Yeah. So then you do not need to touch it. Yeah. So if we do not say anything, so then you just leave it there. Okay? Yeah. All right. Then, so let's look at features one by one. First, enter data input. Look at this new row button. You click it, then we get some, blank fields. We can enter new data. Yeah. Here, let me enter 15. Here, some A, B, C. Here, 3. Here. All right, yeah. Enter. Yeah, so you see, the new data is there. So first feature, okay, one feature. Yeah. Second feature, edit. Now we want to modify the values. Second feature, edit. Yeah, so update, display here. Yeah. I changed something, okay? Change a little bit. Each one I change something. Okay? Update. Yeah. So changed. Second feature. Okay, another feature. Then delete. Another feature, delete. Okay? It's gone. Okay? Delete. It's gone. Alright? Yeah. Alright, so what else? Then for each table, we can do the same thing. Yeah. But we do not write the same code 5 different times. We only write the code one time for the generic table, any table, just current table. The current selected table, we do all these operations using one generic code. Okay? Otherwise, not efficient. Otherwise, you need to copy the same code 5 times just to change the table name, field name. That's not efficient. A lot of work. So this way, we can do efficiently. Yeah. All right. So then 2 more features to go, right? One show max, one transcript. Let me show you show max here. Show max, the maximum value of the first column of each table displayed in this gray box. That's simple. So, show max using AJAX, display it. Course, this time show max, display here. Okay? Section, display, show max, the largest one, a value in the first column, always first column. grade report, the largest value, first column. Okay? The last one, show max. Yeah. So another feature. All right? Yeah. Then the last one, many students feel hard, the transcript, display transcript. A little complicated. The structure, because we need to really do some work to arrange our data in a very special structure. Yeah. Here I did add a link. Yeah. I have one PHP file that can do that. Look at this one. I have a PHP file called a disp transcript.php. Yeah. Display transcript.php. So let me run this file. You will see the transcript is displayed in this table structure as the required table structure. So that's all our features, right? Yeah. All our features. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Home. Yeah. Suppose this is a home, but in your requirement, you need to add a hyperlink transcript. You connect to that. That's easy, right? That's really trivial for you. Yeah. That transcript. Yeah. So you have all the features. All right? Yeah. Okay. Next, let me explain the code details. Yeah. All right. First, let me explain this one. Enter new row. This feature. So let me go to the PowerPoint slides. 8.2. Enter data. Yeah. So then, after this one, remaining other, so I try to control my time. Yeah. So make sure I can finish it before the end of the class. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. First, user's interface. At the beginning, remember, before we click that new row, that button, we do not see input fields, right? So we hide. So now you can see this div element. This element we hide. Display property, the value is block value. I remember I gave you a few examples before, right? So if you look at our early examples, I show you, remember, I explain jQuery show hide function. We can also use the CSS JavaScript way to show element, hide element. We control the display property of the style attribute. We change block to none, none to block. Okay? We learned this before. So you can find our old example, code example. You can see that. Okay, early code example. Here, we just do that. Yeah. At the beginning, we hide it. Okay? Before you click any button, you just hide it. Okay? Yeah. So here we have a button, input button. We associate a JavaScript function, add a new row. Add a new row. Yeah. When you click this button, in the add a new row, we change the value from block to none. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So here, the block to none, so we hide this. Yeah. Block, none, none to block, right? Yeah. Block to none, but there is, yeah, so here. But there is another div element from none to block. So this is the block to none, okay? The second page, this one, none to block. This none to block. So we can see another div element inside. So we display it, okay? This time, you can see this element added. You see, it's an HTML form. This is an HTML form element. This form element action, we attach this PHP file. Enter table row.php. Method post. Remember the method post? Yeah. So in my, preparation video, I explained that post get. Okay. All right. Then here, look at this input element, hidden element. Hidden element. In one of my early examples, I used the hidden element. I talked about that before. Yeah. Here we use another one because MM. So look at this name, parameter name, MM. So here I refer this name to menu number. Menu. Yeah. The top bar, it's our menu bar, right? Our menu bar. Our menu bar, we need to show the table names, 5 table names. So this MM provides the value for the table number. Table number, okay? Yeah, all right. So the current table number PHP value we put here. So that's the current table. But when we click a hyperlink to change to a different table, then this value will be changed. Because when you click it, then you reload a new page. The new page takes the data of a new table. But we want to know which table is selected. So we use this hidden parameter to store the table number that is selected. Because later, when we do all the other operations, we need to use this parameter value. All right. Then, in the table, so we use a for loop, we display a sequence of input fields. There you can see, so the one row of the same number of same column number, that many input fields. So the users can enter data for a new row. Well, that's simple, right? Yeah. Then the enter data, it's a submit type input element. Submit. Submit, after you click the submit, you send a request to this data processing file. Enter table row.php for data processing. This PHP file, you want to insert data in the selected table. Table name and selected table. Because you will pass this MN value to this enter table row.php. That's the logic. Okay? Try to understand the logic. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So next, we need to understand that enter table row.php, the code. Back-end data processing file. All right. Yeah. So here, before we look at that PHP, let me show you this JavaScript function, add new row JavaScript function. You only use 2 lines, okay? Yeah. So the div element you want to control, we have ID, yeah. So we have the ID, 2 div elements we want to control by changing their display property value. Yeah. The first one, display value from block to none. The second one, from none to block. Then we make the change. As simple as this 2-line code. Yeah. All right. Then enter data in PHP. Yeah, remember that enter table row.php. Yeah. So here, how to enter? Yeah. Here I show you the main code. Yeah. Because the database connection I need to show you, right? Yeah. We just copy and paste database connection. But enter data, we need to write insert into table name. We need to write this query. Then execute this query. We're done. That's simple. Okay? Yeah. But we need to know the table name, right? Yeah. How to get a table name? Yeah. Remember, yeah, this one, I skipped a few lines. In that few lines, we need to get parameter value mm. Yeah. We need to get that. Yeah. And from the hidden input element. From the hidden input element. Because that hidden input element is inside the form. That HTML form is submitted to this PHP file. So the form data, all the form data, all the parameter data pieces inside this form will be submitted to this PHP file. Okay? So we have this. So we retrieve from post method, right? Post method. Because we use the post way to submit. So we retrieve. Yeah. So I skip those lines. Yeah. We retrieve this value first. Yeah. Then we need to form a generic input string, query string. Input query string. This is the generic input query string. That means when we insert a new row of data for all those 5 tables, the same line. So this line, we use the same line for all 5 different tables. That's an efficient way. See? So here, because we changed the table name here, then all fields. So we use a for loop. We form all the fields. Okay? The field values we retrieve, filter input, input post, we retrieve from the submitted HTML form. Then we use here, string concatenation to form the field names and the field values. Because in our insert query statement, we need that format. Okay? We need that format. So here we use the standard input query syntax here. Okay? After that, we execute the query and close the database connection. The last line, yeah, after we finish the insertion, we need to send the request here back to the original page. After you finish your data processing work at the backend, you need to update your current page. Update the current. How do you update the current page? Use the header function. Header, let's see, PHP header function to, inside the header function, location column, you provide a URL. URL for the page you want to refresh. Here you refresh the page. You make the web browser to refresh the page. Okay? And when you refresh the page, you refresh the data on the same table. Okay? All right. So that is this feature. Okay? That is this feature. So this one, pretty simple, yeah, but I hope you can understand. Okay? All right. Next, yeah, let me explain the basic idea of AJAX. Yeah. After that, then I go to explain other files. Yeah. We have a few other files. I just explain the main points of other files. Yeah. Yeah. In order to complete before the end of this class. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before I start, yeah, I need to turn off my cell phone. Yeah. I hope no interruption in the middle. All right. Yeah. All right. AJAX. Yeah. Introduction. Yeah. So this is actually pretty old technology, but so useful. So right now, still very popular. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because it's so powerful, so useful. Still, how old is it? Early 2000, okay? Around 2000, that time. Yeah. Yeah. That time, approximately that time. Yeah. So what's the meaning of it? Yeah. Asynchronous, not synchronous, asynchronous. Okay? A. J, JavaScript. So A, asynchronous. J, JavaScript. A, and, yeah, the second A, just and, right? Yeah, because those people, there is existing word AJAX, right? So, people to coin this term just want to use existing, some special name. So that A, just the and, all right? XML. Yeah, technology. Yeah. Because, all right, so the core of this technology is JavaScript. So we need to use JavaScript functions to do back-end, to do client-server communication behind the scene. Yeah. So people cannot see it. All right? Just, it happens. All right? Data communication occurs behind the scene. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me give you the basic properties of this technology and explain some key points. Yeah. So let's see the basic property. Yeah. AJAX is a developer's, here I use the W3 schools. You can see, yeah, I just take, some paragraphs in the W3 schools. Yeah. developer's dream because you can do these three things. The first one, read data from a web server after the page is loaded. After the page is loaded, right? Yeah. All right. So you read the data. You read the data without reloading the page. So the reason I mentioned this special property is because before AJAX was created, people, every time when you need to change anything on the page, even a very tiny change, you have to reload the page. Before AJAX was available. Yeah. When you do everything, you need to reload the page. Okay? Yeah. So that's not efficient. That's not efficient. Because when you reload the page, you need to re-display everything on the page. But think about, if you have some very complicated things already, you rendered already in the page, especially you have many images, displaying images, very slow. But you only need to change one or two numbers. Why you need to reload the whole page, right? That's not efficient. Yeah. So the AJAX solved that problem. Don't reload the whole page, only update that, change the portion. Only do the minimum update on the page. That's the basic idea. So that's the reason AJAX is very fast. Because it avoids reloading the page, it saves a lot of time, response time. Yeah. All right. Update a web page, yeah, without reloading. Yeah. So the second one, it mentions that. Yeah. All right. Send data to web server in the background. In the background. Okay. In the background in an asynchronous way. Okay. Asynchronous. Asynchronous way. All right? So let me explain. Because there are two ways, synchronous way and asynchronous way. So what's the difference? Here, let me explain the difference. It's very important. It's related to the response time. Asynchronous. Asynchronous is better than the synchronous way. Why? Synchronous, we know, front end, back end, in sync, right? Synchronous, sync, yeah. So they pretty much tied up, all right? Yeah. You bind them, okay? Yeah. So they must on the same pace, okay? They should move with the same pace. Yeah. So what's that? Yeah. So actually that's not good. Same pace way, synchronous way. Because imagine when users at a front page, we work on our user's interface. Okay? So we do our work. Okay? We enter data, we click here, there, yeah. We submit data to the back end for data processing. All right? Think about it. When you submit your data to the back end server-side processing file to do data processing, sometimes the data processing could be slow, right? Because sometimes you may do some complicated data processing work at the server side. If it is relatively slow, then if you do the sync way, that means the front side, you have to wait until the back end finish the data processing. Then you can move to the next step. Because these two sides, they are sync. They are sync on the same pace. Okay? You cannot move, move ahead. Okay? Leave server side there. You just go ahead to do other things. You cannot. Okay? Because syncing. Two sides syncing. All right? Yeah. That's not good. User's experience is not good. Why? User, after you submit, then your page is freezed. You cannot do anything before the server completes the back-end data processing. Freezed. That's not good, right? The server, do a lot of hard work, okay? Yeah, so take some time, but you cannot do anything at that time. That's the sync way. Then, this async way, a synchronous way, not tied up, all right? Yeah, separate, okay? After you submit data, then back-end data processing takes some time. You can do other things, right? So you can do, your screen is not freezed, right? So you're free to do, other operations, okay? Then, when the backend finished, then you get update. So you see, oh, something changed. The backend finished the processing, okay? So let you know, now you complete backend processing. So you see the page update, okay? So something is changed. Now you know it's done at the backend. So then you can do other things. So that's the synchronous. So why people, for this technology using the synchronous way. All right. Then, another thing, in order to explain the importance of this technology, why it is so important. Importance, I want to use examples. Okay? Here, two examples. The first example, see, you have experience on that. Simple applications of AJAX. So that is the Google search with suggestions. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Suggestions. Yeah. Remember, when you type keywords, when you type the first few characters, there is a list of suggestions. Okay? Yeah. So it's like in a drop-down menu, so you can select one of the suggestions. How to do that? By AJAX. That's the simple application of AJAX. Yeah. Because when you type keywords, first few characters, you do not have a chance to refresh the page, right? You do not have the chance. You stay on the same page, but the JavaScript function just send those characters to the server side. The server side use those characters to give a list of suggestions. The server side will do the database queries to give you a list of suggestions. Then send it back, and the AJAX display it, so you can see that list of suggestions. So you can choose and take it. So that's the first example. Second example. Google Map. Okay? When you do dragging, drag your mouse cursor on the map, then you can see the map is moving, updated. The regional map is updated. How can that happen? Right? Because when you move your mouse cursor on the screen, on that map region, map area, you do not have a chance to submit and update the page, right? You stay in the same page. Yeah. But your mouse moving cursor will be sent to the back end by the JavaScript function. Then the back end server, after it receives the coordinates of your mouse cursor, it just load the corresponding, the map region, that part, the data, and send it to you. Your web browser just displayed the new map data. So you see the map moving, okay? Yeah. It's the different regions. Yeah. And response time is very fast. You do not need to wait a long time, okay? So you see the change instantly, okay? Yeah. So that's the great things you can do using this AJAX technology, okay? All right. Yeah. Here, so in our web applications, if we want to get a fast response time, to update our page, we try to use AJAX as much as we can. Okay? Yeah. But sometimes it may not be a good choice to using AJAX. Yeah. In our project, you will see the delete feature. That's not good using AJAX. Okay? That delete feature, I didn't use AJAX. Yeah. Yeah. So we just refresh the page. After the deletion, we refresh the page. Yeah. Yeah. Other features, we all use AJAX. Yeah. But delete, we do not. Yeah. I will explain why. Yeah. All right, so let's move to the AJAX way. AJAX way, in the interface side, here, we have a button connect to a JavaScript function. Yeah, that's simple. But in that JavaScript function, we use a special object, AJAX object, this one. It's called an XML HTTP request, this object. Yeah. Here, the name XML, okay? Because at that time, that early time, people use XML format to do data transmission. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Current way, people may not use XML because it's too complicated. Yeah. Currently, people use JSON to do data communication. Yeah. But people do not bother to change the name. Yeah. Just use the existing object name. Okay? Yeah. All right. Then, after this object is created, then we use this object to do the data communication. HTTP object reference name dot unload. Then we define an anonymous function here. Function. There is no name for this function because here we only use it once. So it's an anonymous function. Okay? Yeah. The function, inside this function, so two parts, okay? This part and this part. Yeah. This lower two lines, here you can see we open the connection because we want to connect to the server side. So we call this open method to open a connection with the server side. For the server side, you need to specify which file you want to connect. Okay? So the second parameter, you specify the file name you want to connect. Yeah. The first one, what method? Get method and post method. Okay? Yeah. Here we use get method. If you want to use post method, you just change the post. Yeah. All right. Then true, true for some, specific meaning. Yeah. So here may not be very important. Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we send it. Send. Then the data is sent to the server side. Okay. So the server side here, because in this example, it's a text file, that means no data processing can be done, only retrieve the text content and display. Okay? The minimum thing. But usually, people use data processing file. Okay? Something.php. Okay? Something.php. Yeah? So then, that file, you can do some specific data processing work. Yeah. All right. Then, this anonymous function is used to process, return the data. Yeah. The data processing file may return some data. It does not have to, but many times it will return the data. So you need to prepare to process the return data. Here, the return data is stored in this response text, that object. Okay, that object, the data block, data content. Okay, data content. Yeah. All right. So now you retrieve the data content, then you update the element with ID demo, its inner HTML, the content of that element. Inner HTML, that means the content of that element. You update it. So you see some new text display in that content. So that's the whole picture procedure for AJAX technology. Yeah. Yeah. And this way, this AJAX way, this is the original way, or old way. This is the old way. Okay? Yeah. Old way. It works. Yeah, but currently, many people use a improved way, a better way. So a new way, so that's the jQuery way. Yeah. jQuery way, we have some special functions. We can do all these things, but in the jQuery, this object is hidden. Okay, this object, you won't see this object hidden. Okay, yeah. You just call certain functions. Yeah. Yeah. Then you can do all those things. Yeah. Communication related to the data communication. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the AJAX. Now let's go back to our source code. So I want to explain some important code pieces. Yeah. Code pieces. All right. So we have only 17, yeah, let's say 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes to, not too much time, so I try to explain. All right. All right. Yeah, so we finished the enter part. Yeah, enter, edit, yeah. Here you can see the edit part. Edit this row, because when you click the edit button, you need to retrieve the row data. Okay? So you call this edit function XYU. XYU. What is the X? X, look at here. FD1 equals X. That is the value of the first field. Here, let me explain the important part of the code. You can understand a little better. FD1 equals X. What's the meaning of FD1? FD refers to field, okay? Field 1, yeah? Yeah, because here I'll ask you the question, how do we identify a row? How do we identify a row? Okay, yeah. If the table has the primary key, we can use the primary key to identify the row. But remember, we have a few tables, we do not have the primary key. Okay? We have two tables, we do not have the primary key. No primary key, how do you identify the row? Right? So it's hard. Yeah. But based on my observation, I noticed if we use the field value of the first two columns, if we use those two values together, we can identify the row for all 5 tables. Okay? So for that reason, in order to identify the row, I retrieve the field 1 value X, field 2 value Y, passing to this function, JavaScript function, and when we send to the back end, these two field values are sufficient to identify the user selected row. How about that? Okay? All right. Yeah. So when we send, the values, yeah. All right. So, yeah, but here, we also need to send, yeah, so here, yeah, right. All right, so we send to the backend my URL, so the URL, so this is the URL, okay? Backend data processing file, get data by row.php, okay? Yeah, so XY identify the whole row, all right? Table name, MN equals this MN, all right? Then, but when this for loop we use to update the interface, update that row, we want to display a row of input fields, okay? Yeah. But when we display a row of input fields, input ID, each input field, we need to give an ID. ID plus U, yeah, so here the U is the table, yeah, because here, what's the U? Yeah, third parameter, U, all right, yeah. Third parameter U, I think it's the row number, okay, yeah, because we want to display that row number. Yeah. Field U, C, O. C means column number, column CI, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Field name FD, row number and a column number, okay? Yeah. Then the retrieve, yeah, so this data, retrieve the data, row array, yeah. So here, all right, another thing, yeah. So here it's a little complicated. So let me show you this. Get data row.php. Get data row.php. Get data row.php. All right. So we retrieve the values for the 3 parameters. Okay. Database connection, our standard database connection. Then we get a field information, yeah, column. So field information, yeah. So then the query, we retrieve the whole row, right? So the star, the whole row, because field 1, field 2 values enough to identify the selected row. So this is the whole row data. After we retrieve the whole row data, then here we need to send it back to the front end JavaScript function. front end. But this data, the whole row, contains multiple fields. Multiple fields. How do we send multiple fields as one string? Yeah, because we can only send one string to the front end. Yeah. But we have several data pieces. We want to put in one string. Yeah. If you use an array, how do we send an array, right? Yeah. So here. Yeah. It's not a one piece of data. It's several pieces of data. How do we send that? Yeah. The formal way to send that is using JSON to send. JSON format we can send. Okay? Yeah. But here I want to get around the JSON, because if I teach you JSON, then I need to spend more time. Yeah. So for a temporary solution, I get around JSON. Okay? I get around JSON. So I send 5 pieces, several pieces of data in one string using some special delimiter symbols. Yeah, so this is a special weird symbol. So you may ask me why this at, double equal at, what's the meaning of that? This weird special symbol combination is used to delimit several different data pieces. Okay? Because then at the front end we use this special symbol group. We want to separate those pieces. Okay? One string, one whole string, we want to split that one string into multiple pieces, original pieces. Okay? Yeah. So that's the purpose of this special symbols. Weird string, you can change to different ones. Yeah. But here this special string we choose, we do not want to confuse it with the data, right? Because if it happens to be the data, then you get a wrong display. But this weird string combination, it's rare to be part of the data, right? It's rare. There is a small possibility it could be part of the data, but the chance is very small. So here we use that. In order to avoid the confusion 100%, the best solution is the JSON. If you know the JSON technology, then we just use the JSON way to send the data back. Okay? But here I get around it, use this, simple solution. Yeah. All right. So to make sure you understand. Yeah. Then in this JavaScript function front end, we need to break it. Yeah. How do we break it? Yeah. So here, look at the JavaScript function response text dot. We call JavaScript split function. This weird symbol combination, we split into an array. Okay, one string, because that symbol group is the delimiter. We use it as the delimiter. All right. So we split it. Recover the original array. Okay? So then we display that array, in our input fields for update. Okay? For update. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now, yeah. All right. Because I have very small amount of time. Yeah. Only 7 minutes. Yeah. Let me explain 2 things. 2 things, yeah, quickly. Yeah. One thing, show max. Yeah. Show max. I have a show max function. Show max function, jQuery. Here I use jQuery. Okay? Yeah, jQuery. Yeah. This jQuery, actually, this is the jQuery way to call AJAX function. $.get method. $.get method. That means you send your data to the server side using the get method. Okay? Dot method corresponds to the get method. I'll get sent in the get method. Okay? Get method, yeah, URL so the backend file, so you want to reach, and the anonymous function, you want to update the front end. Okay, so here we call get max value at the backend. Okay, yeah, because get max value, it's very simple backend. Yeah, so here after you send, yeah, let me open quickly. Why I cannot open it? Here. Yeah. All right. Database connection, still table, but we do the query, get a max, the first field name, table name. That's simple, right? So you get a max value. Then we send it back, print. This max value, we send it back. All right? Yeah, the max value. Yeah. Then the front end JavaScript function, we just display. Dollar, the element we want to display, jQuery element, we select. .html function, we display the data. Okay? The data is the return data. Okay? Return the data. In jQuery, we display it this way. Very simple. Okay? Yeah, AJAX. All right. Yeah. So then, the last 4 minutes, I want to explain the transcript, because that's the, many students told me it's very hard, so they want to, get help for this transcript. I already show you the transcript, all right, yeah. So the transcript to display, we need to, because it's a 2D table, 2D, so rows and columns. We need to, make sure we follow the structure, the given structure. All right. Then the structure, you can see here, I need to jump to the interface, the transcript interface. Yeah. So let me, yeah, go to the previous page, this one. All right. So the header part, the boldface header part, yeah, that's the static data. Okay. Static data. Although there is some special structure, but static. We don't need it. You need to use data to display that. Okay? Yeah. Then the second part, then it's dynamic data. So based on the data, we need to organize how to display. Yeah. So only these two parts. Yeah. The first part, static part, pretty easy. Yeah. So here you can see I use row span 2. Row span 2. You had the first one row covered, one element covered 2 rows. So row span 2, student name. Then column span 5. Yeah, because our grade report, we need to cover 5 columns. So column span 5. Yeah. Then the second row, yeah, because the first element already covered by the row span, okay? Yeah. But the second part, 5 rows, that one, but here, the second row, we need to display, 5 TH elements, all right? Yeah, so that's the static part. For the data part, see, we do the query, so here, this is the transcript query, but we do the query, to get a student information, to get all the student information. See, we select star from the student table, okay? The whole table. Then this count, we want to count the number of rows, okay? The number of rows corresponds to number of students, right? Each row for 1 student, okay? Yeah, so that's the number of rows for student. Then in the while loop, yeah, so I need to quickly. So here, I use a transcript content query for selected student. So here, the student name, yeah, because the student number, student number, we find it from the variable, okay? Find it from variable. this dollar row array element, here inside the brackets, that's the index, string index. So we call it associative array. Associative array, we do not use number as the index. We use string as the indices. Yeah. So here, these two string indices. So we get a student name, yeah, student number. So we can use to do the query. Okay? All right. So after we get a query, so we retrieve, display, and follow the format. All right? Yeah. So here, so I just stop here. Yeah. So I give you, this kind of information. Then based on your understanding, yeah, table structure understanding. So you try to understand, the structure of this transcript. All right? All right. So let me stop right here.